Captain's Logs, update 200605.4. I managed to transport some of the toxic sludge we have been sailing through. Is it sailing? The computer has had a tough time ascertaining what it is. It does, however, believe 75% of it is derangement, and 12% empty gesture. We are unsure on the remaining 13%. So I've recalibrated the sensor array, but it appears to be running on Vista OS, which is a tad tragic. Right, yes. This week at Twitter, everyone. Number 10? I was going to do it based on a character, a person, a Twitter personality, and just focus on their tweets because they're amusing, but I couldn't be bothered. But I could be bothered to go through Twitter and look at random things I found amusing. Before we start, on this channel tonight, 8 PM GMT, I am hosting a 5-year anniversary stream, because today marks the 5-year anniversary for my very first upload. I fully intend to play part of that video. I'm cringing just saying it. Ugh. There's also a new video on Moistski Live, and I'm doing a political recap stream after the Moistski Live 5-year thing. Yes. With Traps LP on the Moistski Live channel. Yes. Well, this is confusing, isn't it? I'm just going to link everything down below. Best of luck to you. So to start, we're going to start with this. Yeah, this is perfect. You should all worship me before I end all of you. Probably not those that then decided to unfollow me because I tweeted this out. I mean, I've been tweeting animal pictures all week, and I tweeted this out because I got sick of seeing my timeline covered in ugh, and violence, and death, and destruction, and fire. Right. So next we go to Carla, who tweeted out this: men directing a film with a picture of Harley Quinn getting dressed, and women directing a film, a picture of Harley Quinn dressed like an 80s mother. Not judging, the films were not great in the first place. It should be noted, though, when Harley Quinn puts on her full costume in Suicide Squad, the only thing it could be dubbed a bit slutty are the hot pants she's wearing, since she is fairly conservative upstairs, whereas Harley Quinn in the Emancipation Birds of Prey blah 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 film dresses like an 80s mother, like I said. The inaccuracy of this, though, is that both costume designers were female. Add to that, Suicide Squad made over $700 million at the box office. Birds of Prey didn't even make 50% of that, because it was not just a tragic film, it was an abortion from the offset. The franchise was dying when Suicide Squad came out, after everyone saw Jared Leto's Joker. And while many people were calling for a Harley Quinn movie to feature her more because of how interesting her character was in Suicide Squad, I thought Boomerang was better, to be honest. Or the guy that can climb anything, arguably the most important character in the movie. Yeah. Your point falls flat, because The Emancipation of Harley Quinn was a trash movie. But further proof, again, of giving people what they don't want, spending a lot of money to make it, using it then, though, for identity politics? Unless your overarching point was, men directing a film, huge success, women directing a film, massive failure. Because that's very sexist, Carla. You should be ashamed of yourself. So before we dive into anything serious, because there are some serious subjects I would like to address within this twat video, let's take a break and play something that I saw that, no lie, I had on loop on my computer for far too long.
Tell me how the grass tastes, little man! Not doing it again now!
That knight's never getting the princess. Last week we spoke about Clementine Ford, a world-renowned man-hater, who had taken the liberty of using her platform to air her grievances at men by wishing more of them had died of coronavirus. Much progressive and tolerant, I know. Well, the backlash she received from this was significant enough that many mainstream articles were published on this, leading to her apologizing in a thread, saying, "I'm a big enough person to admit when I've misjudged something. I still stand 100% behind my fury at men exploiting women's unpaid labour. That has been exasperated by the global pandemic. But I've reconsidered my flippancy in discussing it. I've always maintained that difference." To go on about jokes again, I see. Nice, yes. The Corona tweet was contextually in response to the fact women are once again shouldering the burden of domestic labour at the expense of their economic freedom, being let down by men who are in turn upheld by systems that have privileged them. It is acceptable to express fury at that, and it's disappointing more men aren't outraged by this reality. But based on my own metric outlined up thread, I have to accept fault for the Corona tweet, because it made a flippant joke about something that is actually a harmful reality. She continues on, basically undoing her apology by proving it wasn't really one in the first place. Because her anger, and she needs to get it out of her system, and that men are still to blame for the situation we are all in. How dare those essential workers go to work? Ah, you are a joke. With this next one we have to be a tad careful, and there's a reason for it. I'm going to state it now. Sean Head has a track record of destroying people's channels. A friend of mine, Satirtician, is one of them when he responded to a Poe character on a joke channel she created. When she did a response video to him, at no point in the video did she at any point say, "Do not go and harass him," because she likes that. When she quote retweets you, it's intended to get people to harass others. She's been doing it for years. It's why Brittany Venti did some okay videos on her, pointing out that she's a bully. Sean Head has started going down the rabbit hole very deeply on politics, which actually I think is a good thing, because it makes her more interesting. But because of the protests and the riots, she's taken a stance of comparing the current protests and riots to dumping tea in the Boston Harbor. Not really the same thing, bit of a weird comparison. And while you claim it to be a joke because Andy No blamed it all on leftists in the video, something which you do call him out on, rightly so, based on your Twitter reactions and interactions recently, I think you mean every word of it. While I fully support everyone's right to protest, I do not support anyone destroying public or private property, harming people no matter who they are or what they believe in. We didn't live through the times of 1773, so yes, we can't truly compare the circumstances. But it is a truly weak tea, pun intended, comparison to line up something as pivotal as that with something as what has become horrific as this. And while some do believe that this is the lowest form denominator for activism by throwing bricks, I still believe talking is more productive. Burning things down is just going to make it even more difficult, especially as many of those protesters are now catching coronavirus. I can't imagine why. And with this very subject in mind, I would now like to go to the Amazing Atheist, who I had long thought was dead, basically. I didn't know he was still around, but he's also, like Sean Head, taken a very political stance on this that, rather oddly, even though he has clarified his position a little in a video response to Styx Hexenhammer, who then destroyed him in a response, stated he doesn't support the destruction of small businesses, but he does of big businesses. Right. Because no one suffers here when you do that. Again, I have to say to TJ, don't support any of it, because we'll need those companies regardless. And if you're this smart to think that it's okay to destroy these businesses where people are going to lose their jobs, then you are an absolute moron. None of this is good. And using the president's tweet, where he indicated he will use the military to stop the destruction of Minneapolis. By the way, I saw some fantastic videos of media, journalists, reporting on the protests as if they were just casually, peacefully behaving in order and unison while standing in front of a very large building that was on fire. The journalists are on your side, protesters. This is absolute nonsense. And TJ, you are becoming a shill for them because of your own very biased perception. Have you ever at any point in your life decided, I'm going to take the tinfoil hat off my head now and stop shilling not corporate America while simultaneously shilling corporate America? You absolute hypocrite. So I actually have many more I want to cover in this video, but I have other things I need to do today. So we're going to end with an interaction I had after your boy Pat tweeted this out. I decided to make a joke on it, with the very salty person who had blocked Pat in the first place responding. Now, I've decided to be nice, but it turns out, Thrax, you're a bit of a bitch. Hi, Thrax. how are you? I like that you think I lack self-awareness, because the funny thing there is, my joke exactly there is absolute awareness, because I'm joking about cartoon avatars. You're not the brightest, are you, Thrax? I did some digging and realised you've fallen down a rabbit hole too, haven't you? Because you've annoyed a lot of creators off. And you're a Gabe defender. That's interesting, because I was planning on doing another video on him. Just responding to some of his, introspection. Because it's quite delusional. With all that I've covered here today, I'd like to know what you think. So please do let me know in the comments down below or in the Premiere chat. Hi, chat. Hi. Hope to see you all, by the way, tonight, 8 PM GMT on this channel. We're going to celebrate for about an hour and 20 minutes, possibly longer. Maybe. We'll see. If I don't see you there, have a cracking Friday and subsequent weekend. And thank you all for listening.